Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I'm at the campsite, look a little rough, and you might hear some extra noises around. The neighbors are getting a little louder. So, anyway, I like to explain real quick because I don't think I've done a reading for you before, kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the picture the best that I can. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, I know what he's talking about. This is not an exact science. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He won't give me all the details because details are none of my business. Okay. Forgetting my stuff. He said some. Details are none of my business. But he should give me just enough so you know what he's referring to. Okay. Hang on. So, I forgot the rest of my stuff. Dang it. Anyway, so I can ask him all the questions I want to. That doesn't mean he's going to answer them. They know what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. So it's his ball game. It's his show. I let him say or do whatever he wants within reason. So I kept hearing this the other day because I've done another reading or two with him. And he keeps saying, gold ring, cold ring, gold ring, cold ring. So I don't know if one of you took your rings off, and maybe. And he doesn't necessarily mean wedding ring, but gold ring. Could be any gold ring. Maybe you put it, maybe you're hiding it in the freezer. I don't know. I don't know why he says cold ring, but he keeps saying it over and over and over. Yes, I did this out of frustration. Just so frustrated. I love you. I will always love you. I did things I shouldn't have done. He's talking about hair. He's talking about hair. Um, did you recently do something to your hair? Almost like somebody cut a piece of hair off and kept it. But I don't know from who. Maybe you've done it with your kids, or maybe you kept a piece of his hair. I don't know. Everything went perfectly as planned. Everything was all right. It was okay the way it went. It was okay the way it was put together. I think he's talking about his funeral. It was okay. Really don't care what you do with that stuff. And any of them that have mentioned their stuff, like people will say, well, ask them if they want me to give so and so his gold watch. They don't care what you do with their stuff. Once we leave here, we don't care about our couch or car or house or it's stuff. It's just stuff. And when we get to the other side, which it's not really up there, it's really right here around us. It's very hard to explain. Then we realize that the material things in life are not the things that were most important. That's the thing we usually put our value on. So whether we have a better car than somebody else or more money in the bank than somebody else makes us a better person. No, it doesn't. And it's too bad we have to wait till we get transition over, to realize that is not what life is about. It's not about the stuff. It's about the love. He says it's about my heart. Now that wasn't him talking that last part. That was me. Sorry. I should have explained that, because this is what they taught me. He says it's about the heart. It's about the heart. I will always have love for you and the kids. And if you don't believe me, just watch. Do the kids, or maybe even yourself, have skates and or skateboard? He's mentioning skates, roller skates, and skateboards. Maybe the kids just had them out. Maybe they just got some. I want them to have a better life than I could give them. And I think you will carry that through. I just didn't see my purpose. And he's talking about spur of the moment. It was just spur of the moment. Spur of the moment. Spur of the moment. I did what I did. So there's a younger girl. I don't know whether this is your child, the younger girl. And my eyes are drawn to I'm in the campground. My eyes are drawn to this little girl just ran across the yard. It was like I was drawn to her, and she's 4, 5, somewhere in there. I will say the kids, all kids, pretty much all kids, can see them and hear them on the other side until they get to be about 9 or 10. And then they people tell them, you can't have an imaginary friend. You can't see those people. And then they realize people are going to call them crazy, so they kind of start shutting it down. But this little girl has already seen him. This little girl saw him immediately after he transitioned. And I don't mean physically, I mean his spirit. This is our vehicle. I used to put my paper away. I am not this hair. I am not this skin. I am the soul that is within. So the soul that is inside of this vehicle that we walk around on earth in, our spirit soul uses this vehicle, is still the same spirit and soul. When we transition, we just lose the body part. We lose our car. Our car goes to the junkyard, I guess. And he says, I am so, so sorry. I am so, so sorry for all of the things that I did to you. I can see clearly now that those decisions were wrong, or I did them in the wrong way. He says they might have been the right decisions for me, but I did them in the wrong way. And I will always have love for you. And if I'm not welcome in your home, I understand. So if you want to have signs from him, I'm not sure he's figured out exactly how to do it yet. The closest thing to what I do in any movie that I've seen is Ghost with Patrick Swayze. And when he's in the subway tunnel and he's talking to the spirit, and the spirit's teaching him how to kick the can and flick the bottle cap without real fingers, to do it with their energy, they kind of have to learn that. They usually don't know it as soon as they transition. I asked my woo-woo lady, I said, we've already been there before. Don't we know how to do all that stuff? She said, no, it doesn't work that way. So not okay. So when we transition to the other side too, they peel us like an onion, is what I call it. They get all that heavy anger, resentment, anxiety. They peel that off of us until our soul and spirit is light and bright and cleansed and beautiful and vibrating on a higher level. Do not let this weigh you down. Do not let this weigh you down. There is nothing you could have done to make this different, and there's nothing you could have done to stop me. Do not think it's something that you did. This was my decision, not yours, not anybody else's. It was my decision. Dumb decision. It kind of went dumb decision, but it was still my decision. Mine and mine alone. So please don't think that you did something to cause me to do this. And it got real quiet. And suicide is a lot of people who have left that way. I hate that word. I just hate that word. I don't like any of the words with it. Is why I started doing this work. Because somebody that I loved very much, very close, left that way. So I understand. And I understand both sides. And it took me a long time to put the baggage down and not blame myself. It's not that I did something. It's that I thought I could have stopped it, and I didn't. So if you're feeling that way, know that I did stop mine at one point, but then a week or two later, he went ahead and went through with it. So it's their decision, and they have to own it, not us. That's from me. So if you would like to have signs from him, if you welcome him into your home, he will be very beneficial to have around. Giving permission. That's up to you. That's your free will choice. Giving permission to come around. And if you're madder than hell at him and you don't want him around, that's okay too. That's totally up to you. He says, I caused this. I know I caused this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You either have or you're going to hear footsteps. He is going to visit this little girl, already has. And even if you don't welcome him in your home, he's still going to visit this little girl. Now, why he's just picking one child, I don't know. Maybe she's just more susceptible to seeing him and hearing him. It's not that he won't visit any others. So just know that I love all of you. And please try not to think of me with bad thoughts, because that will only hurt yourself. And I want that for you. So if you hear the footsteps in your house and you don't want them, tell him. If you do want him, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more. They will usually abide by your wishes. Know that I only want the best for you, and I will help you in any way I can. If you need help with something, I always tell people, if Uncle Joe didn't have a pot to piss in, don't ask Uncle Joe for help with finances, because he didn't understand how it worked here on Earth. So whatever he was good at, like maybe just listening to you, or maybe mechanically, you have trouble with your vehicle and you need some help, ask him to find somebody to come help you. You'd be surprised the doors that they can open. You just need somebody to listen to, sit down on the couch and just talk to him all you want to, because I promise you 1,000%, he can hear you, he can see you. You just can't hear him back. So talk to him, give him permission to come in if you want him to. There's a lot of times I go to somebody's house and I see like maybe their dad standing off in the corner, and it's like, he doesn't know whether he should step forward. He doesn't know whether he's welcome to step forward. They don't want to scare you guys. You're going to see him. If you haven't already, you're going to see him out of the corner of your eye. Usually it's in your peripheral vision, and I count this as peripheral vision because, like, when I'll be working on my computer, I can sometimes see somebody walk by my table, and then I raise my head up and turn, and I know when I look, I can see them. But when I turn and look, there's nothing there, and you just think, oh, that was just my imagination. No, it's not. You don't know why it works that way, but it does. He says, this is going to be a big challenge for you, but I know you can handle it. I have faith in you. You're my champion. You're my rock. He's like our rock star. And I hope someday you can forgive me for everything. Because to forgive me will release you from some of what you think is your blame, your fault, that isn't your fault. And I'm ready and willing to help. It's like I always tell people, let's say you don't like the job you're in. I usually pick that subject. You don't like the job you're in. So you ask your whoever person that's passed on, you'd really like help finding a better job, and you just kind of let it go. And then the next thing you know, you run into somebody in the grocery store, or somebody calls you and says, hey, I've got this opening at the company I'm working for, and it's a great place to work. You need to come apply for it. It happens that simple. People get nudged. It's hard to explain how it works, but it works. But you have to give them permission, because they cannot override your free will choice. He's very calm. He's very peaceful. He's very loving. He says he's very dutiful. I would Dutiful, dutiful, Dutyful. I have no idea why he's saying that. What he means by that? It's his ball game. It's his show. He's even calming me down. He's so peaceful. So know that I will be around, even if I don't let you realize that I'm there. And he will only be around for good. It won't be, they don't do bad things. They only want to come to help. With that, he's going to leave. Sorry, I was watching kids beat up each other. Beat up. The campground's full this weekend. Anyway, much love to you, my dear. Thank you for being patient. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.